what math did people notice in either the exploring of the cookbooks, in the exploring of the construction work, or in the exploring of the recipes online? What did you notice? Divya?
I noticed in the cookbook that the bakers counted how much toppings they need to put on.
So bakers need to use math because they have to count the number of toppings?
Yeah, and they need to count them. They need to check how much they put on, how much they put in. You can't just put 100 of them.
Oh, so you have to count and see how many different toppings you're going to use, or the amount of each one?
Yeah, you have to count how much you're going to use. If you're going to use like 4, you have to make sure you have 4. If you have 100, that's not 4.
No. What else did people notice? Mariana?
It's something about my shirt. My shirt is kind of like a pattern.
It is kind of like a pattern. So then people that design T-shirts, what do they need to think about?
Pattern. Like a sweater. Look. It's black, blue, black,
Oh.
black, blue. And the Aiden shirt. Yeah,
So-
green, black.
And look at Aaliyah's shirt. Hers also has part of a pattern on it. So, and yours too. Look at how many shirts have patterns.
Stuffed animal has a pattern.
Too. So why do you think people that design things need to think about patterns?
And Bailey too. Look.
Okay, Dibia, why do you think people that design things need to think about patterns?
Because it needs to be about math. We're learning math.
We are, but why do you think that they need to think about patterns? Why would a designer want to use a pattern on their shirt? Alicia?
Because they want it to look nice.
Oh, so what do patterns do, Alicia?
Make it look nice.
They do
It's
that.
fashion.
Who knew that a fashion person, like someone who actually designs clothes, considers the use of patterns? Did anyone else notice some math in what they were doing today? Bailey, what did you notice?
You have a pattern on your shirt too. Black, white, black, white.
I did. Did anyone else notice a different kind of math, Aiden, in what they were doing today?
And they do have something. Patterns are on the cake.
So cake designers and bakers, they use patterns. Why do you think cake designers and bakers and chefs and everybody else, why do you think they consider the use of patterns?
So everyone would be happy and they wouldn't have any problems.
Why do you think patterns would make them happy?
Because some people just like patterns and some people don't.
Why do you think though that a pattern might be a good idea if you were like a cake designer?
Because then lots of people would buy it and you get more money.
Hold on, and why do you think that people would buy a cake more if there were more patterns on it?
Because then the kids would like it.
Why?
Maybe they would.
Why though? Mariana?
They would like it because it's like a cake with characters that are favorite. So like if they had an Elsa cake and I'm having that Elsa party, I would want an Elsa cake. My mom will find an Elsa cake. If she can, she'll get on an Elsa, and then they would surprise me. And then when it's my birthday, I would really want it because I like it.
Okay, but let's think about the use of patterns with it. Somebody said that a lot of cake designs have patterns on them. Why do you think that it would be smart for a cake designer to use patterns?
It could be Elsa. You could, if you want to put patterns on it, make Elsa in the middle and the patterns around it.
Okay, but why do you think that why do you think that someone would want patterns on their cake?
Well, they would like it if it was their favorite flavor or not.
Okay, but why else do you think that people might actually choose a cake that had some patterns on it? Because we saw lots of cake designs with patterns. Why? Alicia?
Because people, if there's like on a cake, maybe the people like designs on your cake.
Oh, so they might think it looks pretty and stuff too. So we've got patterns, we've got counting, we've kind of got numbers in there. All of that was math. Did anyone see any different math?
Cake designers might use the stretchy snake one.
Why? Tell me more.
They use eagle eye on books to try to make a cake.
Okay, so they're looking at it. Now, does that have to do as much with math or not really? Probably not, but think about the shape of the cakes. Aliha, what were some of the shapes? There was a heart cake. What was a different shape one that you saw?
It isn't a shape. Sometimes if you want an Elsa cake, you can probably buy an Elsa cake, and you don't have to just get Elsa in the other pictures. You can also, on the outside where there's no Elsa and on it, you can put patterns.
Oh, so you could do both, but you know what? If they say cut out a cake in an Elsa shape, that is still kind of a shape. It's just not a shape we know. We know a heart, we don't know an Elsa shape, but it could be one. Did anyone else see a different shape for a cake or a cookie?
And also I had one. You could make it like a butterfly shape.
You could. Yeah.
And I also saw like a butterfly cupcake cake, and it was like patterns, and then there's like shapes, and then there was like more patterns.
Oh, so they use both. And hold on, they might even consider the shape. Like, let's say I had a cake that was a circle. Mm-hmm. And then I had another cake that was a rectangle. Mm-hmm. And I want a cake for a really big party. Do you think that a circle cake would be better for a really big party or a rectangle cake?
Rectangle.
Why?
Because if you have like a circle cake that is like this small, then if you have so much kids in the party, they would say, "We want cake, we want cake," and we would only have to give like the birthday girl the cake because it's really small and it's her birthday.
Oh, but why does a rectangle cake help us?
Because there's so much people. What if the adults want some cake too? If we have a little circle cake.
It'd be harder, but then how does the rectangle cake help us out?
Because it has more pieces that people can eat.
Because a rectangle seems to be what compared to a circle?
I was going to say that part.
It could be longer, yes?
Or since a rectangle is like this big,
yeah.
It's so easy. So all you have to do is give everybody a piece, and then if somebody else wants another cake, you can just give them another cake for extra.
Oh, so you're saying then, so you think the rectangle is what? Like it's bigger? Okay, yes.
And everyone will get the same amount.
Oh, tell me about that, Dibia.
Well, if everyone gets the same amount, everyone's gonna be happy, and then they can have their own, and then they can have the cake.
What makes that harder with a circle cake?
Well, in the circle cake, and it was like this tiny. How's everyone gonna get the same amount?
And it's a lot harder to cut a
circle cake because it's so small.
It could be.